Greg Cody's podcast, The Greg Cody Show, featuring Greg Cody.
With,
yeah.
So fun. Yeah.
Has some sound of why it is that you should respect Greg Cody's expertise. Here he is on Colorado football and Deion Sanders.
He's the most overhyped college coach in the country right now. Colorado, they were 1-11 last year. He takes over the team, changes the whole roster, and now because he's a self-promoter, Coach Prime, everybody thinks they're instantly going to be great. They're going to get their ass kicked this season. It's like ridiculous. They're ranked like in the 80s. Like they are so far from the top 25, you need binoculars to see them.
The Greg Cody Show featuring Greg Cody.
with.
Yeah.
Fine.
Wherever you get your podcast.
It's just, when there's too much attention for too little reason, my human nature is to go, wow, it'd be fun to watch him fail. I know that's not a positive trait by me, but I'm just looking for Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, to fall flat on his face, frankly, because the hype is such that people just expect Colorado to instantly be great.
That take hasn't aged particularly well. It sounded good coming out of my mouth. And by the way, I deny what everybody is saying. I categorically deny that I have something against Deion Sanders because 2 years ago he had agreed to come on my podcast and changed his mind because I would not agree to his personal assistant's demand that I refer to him only as Coach Prime.
What?
Really?
No
Yes.
wonder you said that with so much
you
bow.
crazy?
I believe that 100%.
Wait a minute.
Yeah,
This
no,
is a
that's the
real
truth.
story.
Greg.
Your pettiness is showing so much. Your analysis of Deion Sanders was based on
No,
him
I'm
turning
kidding.
down a
I
podcast.
told you I categorically deny that.
He denied it.
I deny it, Billy.
Some
Billy's got
people
my
have
back.
said that.
No, but I
Some
believe
have
it.
said.
After hearing about what
Categorically.
Billy, after hearing about what he
different,
did
yeah.
to Zach Thomas,
What Zach Thomas did to him.
I can be petty. I'll admit that.
He's actually he's retracted that. He feels bad for not going.
Yeah.
Chris,
I am.
it's
Well, no kidding.
asinine. It's asinine. Your dad always wants to be invited to shit like that. He gets invited and then says, well, only if you come on my podcast.
Well, let's not rehash that. But in the case of
It's a give and take relationship. You know?
why, I have my integrity. Why am I going to agree to only refer to him as Coach Prime? He's not my coach. I'll call him Deion Prime.
I mean,
Mr.
Dan,
Prime. I'm not going to call him Coach Prime. It's ridiculous.
we've on this very show had people come on and say these are the conditions in which you will appear on this show, and we'll say no, we're not going to just do that.
There you go. You
Greg
can't
did
buy
no
me.
different. Exactly.
But if Dan was offered Deion Sanders today and had to call him Coach Prime, Dan would take the interview and call him Coach
It
Prime.
also doesn't.
today,
It also
yeah.
doesn't taint my coverage 2 years later
It doesn't take
because
Greg
I'm
denied it categorically.
soaked in bitterness.
No.
It is funny that he's got everyone calling him Coach Prime.
It's ridiculous.
It should be Coach Time.
Did you see Colorado's official university commercial is all about Deion? It's like, this is the prime university in the prime college
good.
town with a prime education.
He's paid for himself. He got a $29 million contract, and they got $28 million in donations. They've got their season tickets sold out for the first time in more than a quarter of a century. He did more transfers than anyone, 53. Well, I mean, we're not even pretending anymore. Never mind about what this used to be. The greatest mercenary in sports that you've just about ever seen just took college football by storm by taking everyone out there in the Louis Vuitton baggage, getting all those players out of there, bringing his own 53 in. And if that's how we're going to do business in the business of college sports, Stugotz, where USC can just get a quarterback-coach combo and fix everything, well, Deion comes with 53 of them.
Right.
And he's changed the rules. He's never played by the rules. And now he has done something that left me flabbergasted, Stugotz, because that was one of the worst power conference schools I've ever seen last year. Ever. Just truly, truly terrible. And to go from that, and you can, man, so many of you want to knock TCU. Fine. They've got 3 starters returning. They can't play defense. I saw the throws Deion's kid was making. Those throws work against anybody.
Going to be funny when his kid transfers to Alabama.
And Deion is at FSU.
I I don't think that the TCU being overrated and Colorado being better than we thought are like mutually exclusive things. I think they can both be true at the same time, and I think that's like the case here. I'm always a little worrisome of going week one and just absolutely like taking these expectations. Colorado's got a feisty Nebraska team next week. TCU is not as good as we think they are. What Deion has done is very impressive, but I think we should just like slow
Tap
down
the
a little
brakes.
bit.
No, it was a cool moment, and I understand what you're saying, but I was uncomfortable. He did a great job. But the amount of praise being heaped on Deion Sanders as if he was the guy out there making the actual plays. He was not, Dan.
But
his son
hold on,
was.
hold on.
Dylan Edwards was.
Hold on.
Travis Hunter was. It was not all Deion Sanders.
Stugotz.
His defense gave up
Stugotz.
40-plus.
Stugotz, a Hall of Fame player of this caliber, there's one best cornerback ever. It's him.
Yep.
Changed the sport coming out of college,
No doubt.
was brash and cartoonish 30 years ago, is the guy in the commercials with Nick Saban. Not any other coach. He's the second most famous coach in college in America. Second. He's more excellent at what he did for a career than any of those coaches are at anything. And now he brings an army of players with him. You can reduce your expectations if you like. He's already exceeded mine. They went and beat a ranked team for the first time in 30 years. That was an epically bad program. You can tap the brakes if you want. I'm telling you, that's something worth celebrating. An anarchist who had to go through the black college route because nobody thought he could coach. Nobody thought, nope, you can't have a chance. You are not excellent enough. Steve Kerr can have a chance over here, Derek Fisher. You can't have a chance, Deion. You've got to go to a school whose funding is so bad that when you get to the Colorado program, terrible, you're awed by the facilities.
But, Dan, I'm not tapping the brakes. I think, and I thought this before it happened. I said Deion, Florida State should fire their coach and hire Deion Sanders.
FSU looks really good.
I believe in Deion Sanders. I do. I'm not tapping the brakes. I was just uncomfortable with all the credit going to Deion Sanders and none of it going to the kids.
Travis Hunter was talked about plenty. We all learned the names.
We celebrated Deion over the weekend.
We all learned the name Saturday of Travis Hunter. If you did not know it before and you care about sports, that's what happened Saturday. A star coach and a star player made an appearance to now make expectations when they go to Nebraska higher and different. But I'm just telling you that what I saw from a competence perspective, I don't care that TCU can't play defense. I'm telling you that that quarterback hitting those receivers, he was throwing a ball that will make them competitive in all their games, and I did not think they would be. The betting line didn't think they would be. It was 3 touchdowns. That's the first time they've beaten a ranked team on the road in 30 years as a program. Like, you can just celebrate it because it's seismic. It's unbelievable what he just did. They played for the national championship last year. It could not have started better because it wasn't just that they won. Holy shit, did you want to watch that game?
Yeah.
That was fun to watch.